Good morning to everybody. This is Jack Gleason with Startuptrading.com. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, New York. And this morning we had non-farm payrolls, which was the big news event. The market is another day to the upside here. We'll start off with the indexes and just kind of talk about what the sequence was leading into that non-farm payroll. So coming out of what was the lows of the week on Monday, I'll just go over this series here, starting from the beginning. There was a 5-minute extension that began from 29.96 quarter to high. It's traded once to target, twice to profit target, back out. We had a third time trade off its 38% retracement, and then we started going straight through those targets. Now, when we went through these profit targets, I believe it was, let me see here. Yeah, so then once we got through that negative 61 on Wednesday morning, we began an extension to extension. And that extension to extension completed its profit target in the overnight session, and then we went into a new extension from the 31.15 to high, and that is completed here into the non-farm payroll. That same anchor to the new high is our current setup, and that brings us back to this 50% retracement. Now, I always like to watch the previous extension that completed just as like a deeper pullback level as a potential for what could trade, and that would be this extension from 30.59 half to high. 30.59 half to high. That 38% retracement is a 31.13 half. So right now, on the more aggressive time frame, we have the 31.29 half support level, which lines up with the highs we broke out of. And then if we were to trade a deeper pullback, that would bring us down to the 31.13 half. 31.13 half. So those are the sequences on the upside right now. I'll share those levels with you guys. One important note, we are right back at the top of the range here that we were rejected from 2 weeks ago. We're right back at those highs. So if there's any level that's going to lead to a deeper pullback, it would be us testing the highs and possibly getting back to and just erasing that non-farm payroll and getting back here to the lows. So just be aware of that. Moving on to the Dow, I'm going to back out to the hourly chart. We are at the leg start from the move down that began last Wednesday, June 24th. So once again, just kind of getting back into that resistance area range. Now, coming out of the lows on Sunday night, Monday, the Dow was the first market. It was actually on Monday. It was the best looking market. We had this Sunday night low, too high. The Sunday night low, too high. Trade its 50% retracement, like to the tick. And then we ripped out higher. Now, we actually began an extension series once we broke through that high. But what we ended up pulling back into, for whatever reason, is we held the traditional from the low of Monday to what was the high of Tuesday at the time. That completed profit targets at the close on Tuesday, and then that same low to high came back again, and we have completed those targets here into the non-farm payroll event. Now, because we've been in a traditional sequence, there's not an extension sequence. What I would expect here on the higher time frame, one of two things. We're either going to go straight up in an extension, 25,772 to high. Okay, we need to go straight up above that. Otherwise, we're going to pull back into the next traditional measured move, which would be Wednesday's low to the most recent high. Wednesday's low to the most recent high would lead us all the way down to 25,716. So we're either going to go straight up in an extension that stays above 25,878, or if we break that level, look for a move down into 25,716. And I had this trend line drawn here that we broke out of. Okay, it's just, simple trend line. that 50% retracement support would actually line up with the retest of the trend line we broke out of. Something to be aware of. Moving on to the Nasdaq, which we never short. Once again, a new all-time high. Absolutely beast mode. We have higher time frame profit targets in the NQ all the way up, and I've been going over these for a couple days here now. 10,520 and 10,532. Those are our upside targets. That's where we're going. We're going to continue to go there. It's just different variations of long setups on the way. Now, because we are inside of this extension that traded at the close yesterday, and we've completed that negative 23, the high, the anchor to use in the NQ is 10,171 half to high. Now, we've traded it to target, same anchor, new high. That is our 50% is going to be at 10,275. And our 38.2 is 10,301. Same anchor, new high. We're just going to continue to follow that up. The more conservative setup would be, I believe it's this, yeah, this extension. If we do get a deeper pullback, the deepest pullback I would expect would be to like 10,160 as of right now on a deeper, wrong color, on a deeper pullback. And that's just a previous extension, 50% retracement, and it lines up with some previous highs we broke out of. So that is a really solid level for me that I'm watching. If we get there, that'd be just an awesome gift. Be a gift to get there. But right now, nothing but upside targets, nothing but long setups. Just continue to trade the indexes to the long side. It's not a two-sided trade. I'm going to say it over and over again. Now, oil, initially, I was looking for a little bit of a deeper pullback. We started this week off in a 50% retracement short. That 50% retracement short held Friday, came back down, held the 61.8 on Monday, came back down, but what we are holding, we ended up breaking it. What we are holding is an extension long from the anchor of 38.08 to high. Now, that traded once to target, and our same anchor new high has held here, which gives us an upside target of 41.17, takes us back to the top side of the range. And in the overnight session, inside of the overnight session, we held the low of the day to high, which has a target at 40.65. 40.65 is the 50% retracement target. There's no new entry as of right now. If we complete 40.65, we will have a new entry. But right now, there's no new entry on the hourly time frame at least. For the USDJPY, the two levels of, one level I should say of support I'm looking at is the full halfway back long from Tuesday, the June 23rd low to high. That 50% retracement is a 107.13. Now, we had some news events on what was Tuesday evening of this week going into the Wednesday. We reversed off those highs, and we are holding shorts from that overnight high in Tuesday. Now, that target of the short, which so far has been front run by 4 exactly, is the full 50% retracement from Tuesday's low to high. So that entry is just, we're just waiting for it. Okay, and that is a 107.13. A 107.13 for the USD JPY. If we break above 107.84s, we confirm the support and we can look for a pullback. But right now, 107.13 on the support level, and the 107.74 is the resistance. The Aussie dollar, we are at the top side of the range, and there's a halfway back series. We're bullish above 69.01. There's no new entry. This entry traded yesterday. The upside target is 69.58. If we break 69.01, there will be a 50% retracement short. If we complete 69.58, there will be a 50% retracement long. We are in no man's land currently. The euro has just traded a 50% retracement entry, retest. It is a halfway back short from the highs of June to low. Now, this initially broke 2 weeks ago. It broke. But we've been in this consolidation, and we have just retested that 112.95. Now, that also happened to line up with a nice little trend line touch here. And we've had a great reversal off of it, about 40 pips, 40 pip reversal. There is no support until the bottom of the range. We've continued to go from the top of the range to the bottom of the range, and the support really comes in around 112.14s. So we've been rejected. We've broken the next measured move. There is a 50% retracement short that is valid at the 112.77. 112.77. First thing this morning. First test only. The pound, we have just come off of, and it's a front run, and it's a higher time frame short. But this is going to be something to watch in the weeks to come. The full 50% retracement short from the June high to the June low is a 125.33. The highs over the overnight session are like 120. Yeah, they're 125.29. So it's a perfect 4 pip front run. Now, there is a extension here that traded up into our targets. And then there's this same anchor new high. I don't trust this same anchor new high. We're trading it right now because we came off that daily resistance level. But as soon as we break it, that validates the short, and there'll be an entry into the 50% retracement. So if we break this extension, which is a move below 124.63, there will then be a next pullback. Okay, and then there is this prior extension below. The first support level I would be us really getting down to like this zone, 124.27 to like 124.15. I wouldn't have any just natural support until we got down there. So if we could rotate into a 50% retracement short and then target into those lows, ideally that's what I would like to see for the GBPUSD. The CAD, the Canadian dollar fell out of bed. They had their GDP numbers on Tuesday, and it just got rocked. Just totally rocked. Now, we've come back to the bottom of this range. There is an extension short below 136.68. I don't really have anything to do in the USD CAD unless we get down to the 135.15s. 135.15 would be the halfway back long from the lows of June. That'd be fantastic if we could trade it. It's also the extension short target that we are currently in. We are bearish below a 136.21, and if we break 136.21s, we can look for a pullback to buy. But other than that, there's nothing to do. Gold. Now, in gold, seems to be this extension from the 1803. And I would just say at this point in time, gold is kind of in a no man's land with, we've retested these lows, but because we've retested these lows, we would need to confirm this support by breaking the 50% retracement short for the day. So we need to break above 1778, and that would confirm what would be a double bottom. If we confirm a double bottom, there will be a long setup after that. So we need to get above 1778. Otherwise, this is just an entry into the short trend, and I have no support if this double bottom does not hold, which we're not going to know if it's going to hold until the shorts break. So for me, this short isn't a sell and this long isn't a buy. It's just, okay, if the short breaks, the long confirms, then re-look long. Otherwise, we're going to look for us to move down into 1757. 1757 half would be that next support level that I would anticipate below, unless we can break above 1778, which changes the momentum back to the upside, and then we can relook for an entry into the trend. And silver, same thing. We have this second test here, okay? Second test typically dip in. We need to confirm the support. We need to break above halfway back shorts for the day. We need to get above, I'm even going to say we need to get above, look a little more conservative. I just want to see us get above this 1825. Just that last swing high. If we can get above 1825, we reconfirm this support. but the support is dipped in. If it gets back above, that's a lot of shorts trapped under there. It will once again be a good long, but I'm not gonna buy after we dipped in. We need to break above and then get a pullback. So above 1826, then we look for pullbacks. This higher time frame long setup is still valid. It's still valid, and I don't know. Maybe did we run into this setup? No, we didn't. And it's just this halfway back from the lows of the range to high. If this candle reverses, this gives us an upside target in silver of 1918. Okay, so this is definitely something to pay attention to for SI. All right, and also kind of an important note: the VIX has completed a pretty large halfway back short here today, and we are going to have an extension. You could argue it two ways. You could argue from the low of 31.55 to low. Now, I don't think that's coming into play anytime soon, because we would need a 30-40 point sell off to really get up to those levels. But that extension we will take forward, and our next deep pullback in the indexes on the daily chart will most likely lead the VIX into that extension short, and we'll still be bullish in the indexes. And as a reminder how big these higher time frame targets are, 33.72 in the ES. Okay, and I've been saying that for a bit, but we're gonna continue to grind higher. We're at resistance. The support levels are below. The setups are alongside. Last week was a little different. We did have some shorts in play, but so far from Monday, there literally has not been almost any short setups that have worked for more than a couple hours, and then it's right back higher. So just keep that in mind, that the pullbacks or the trades to be making in the indexes, that's definitely something to pay attention to here today. And also just the fact that this euro and pound have come off daily short levels. Okay, but that's going to wrap up my morning trade plan. If you enjoyed this content, give this video a thumbs up. If you're interested in learning more about the Startup Trading chat room, check out the links below. Everybody, happy 4th of July. The room's closed tomorrow. The market's closed tomorrow. Light off some fireworks. Don't blow up your hand. Enjoy times with your families this weekend. I will catch you guys on Monday. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat room. Take care. Thumbs up if you're interested in learning more about the Startup Trading chat room. Check out the links below. Everybody, happy 4th of July. Room's closed tomorrow. The market's closed tomorrow. Light off some fireworks. Don't blow up your hand. Enjoy times with your families this weekend. I will catch you guys on Monday. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat room. Take care.